I used to always tease my staff when we did presentations about getting in between. And by that, I always meant that sometimes you're better sort of ad-libbing, and then sometimes you prepare and read from that, and then other times you can get in between. So I'm going to try not to get in between, but I did bring a few things to mention. I really thank Chris for that kind introduction. It's been as Ron Carley used to say to us, a long strange trip, hasn't it? But I really appreciate and offer my sincere thanks to the AHS organization. And let me clarify that one comment. I did come up with the word alliance because when I was working in Anacostia in Southeast Washington before I came to Arlington, thinking it'd be easier over here, I worked with a group called the Anacostia Energy Alliance, and we were doing solar, flat plate collector, in low-income neighborhoods with workshops for people in 1978. So when I first stepped across the river, and my first impression was sort of, well, what affordable housing problem? But then as you learn more and more, you learn about the gap between the haves and have-nots. I saw a thing in the paper today about the median home prices still in. I live just off Good Hope Road, Martin Luther King, near Willie Wilson's Union Temple Baptist Church, and I think the prices there are still like the top of the market's 200, and those are single-family detached homes too. I mean, here it's what, 750 again. So it's really a different environment that I stepped into, and it's this evening, this event is really, I really appreciate all of you folks who came out this weather. It's been a crazy day trying to figure out how it's going to go, and what are we really going to wind up with here. And I knew Mary had probably committed to a lot of food and volunteer work, and it was tough for her to sort of say, well, let's wait for a week or so. But the idea of being honored by something Ellen Bosnick's is really special. So I guess I was lucky enough that I think she started in '73, and I came to the county in '83. So I did overlap much of those later years, and actually I can remember going up to Ellen and Bill's house a couple of times to brief them on upcoming board meetings when things were kind of hot and heavy in certain housing issues, and just to have worked with someone who is probably one of the most civil, genuine, and honored public employees that we've ever known. So it's really special to me. Whenever Ellen, asks you for, help on something or whatever, how could you do less than 150%? I mean, that's sort of, that was just meeting her halfway. Pretty incredible times. In my 30 years with Arlington, I was also very fortunate to have served with as I say, an ever-evolving team of dedicated public servants, managers, board members, and thank so many of you for being here this evening. Commission members, nonprofit and for-profit partners, great advocacy organizations, and also a special thanks to someone who couldn't be here tonight, a couple of people, Wayne Rhodes and Ed Brandt, who were there just, I was the Panasonic, they were just slightly ahead of my time, if you remember that commercial. And my wife Melody, who, before it was a conflict of interest, hired me to work with the county. and to a wonderful staff who's always put up with my anecdotes and constant pontificating about things such as Nina Jennifer will love this. Creativity is really just a word some people use to describe what we know as the exhaustive effort of leaving no stone unturned. Another observation is trying not to watch the Redskins game this afternoon. is some of the numbers when you stop and think about it. I think I came up with 7,500 days, about 60,000 hours on the job. I'm not sure about them, if the nights and weekends are part of that or not. About 6,000 units during my tenure. Much of that was, again, part of a much larger team. And early on, I was just a small part of the effort. And later on, I was a small part of the effort. I was just, making sure that nobody was like stubbing their toe or doing anything silly. But to have been able to be a part of this and the countless policies and tools and programs that have been evolving over the years has just been a blessing for me to have been a part of that overall effort, of which all of you wouldn't be here if you hadn't been an important part of that effort. So I do appreciate that. My wife and I often ask ourselves how we could have been so lucky as to have stumbled into a community as wonderful as Arlington. We often talk about our blessing and our curse. Our economic engine is so great, and it's been so wonderful. And the commercial tax rate that we finally got up to a 50-50 blend has made it possible to keep the residential rate somewhat in reason. But on the one hand, but on the other hand, the people who don't have a hellacious uphill battle to try to just get a piece of what we all hold is important. And some of us who were lucky to stumble in early on were able to buy up in the market, and it's been a real challenge to do the units that we have. I mean, there have been hundreds of millions of dollars now. I'm not even sure if David Christille, my successor, knows what the current number is that we have put into the effort. But early on, we did decide that we weren't going to do grants anymore as much as possible. We were going to do revolving loans. And from that, we have created a system where we are generating more cash, more revenue to continue to do what we do best. And thanks to our partners, such as the APAs and AHCs and Wesley's and Mark Silverwood and Paradigm on the private side, we have a pretty remarkable track record. I think when we look at the other jurisdictions. Somebody was asking this evening, what is Montgomery County doing? They had been doing something similar to Fairfax a few years ago. Remember the penny for housing, the dedicated revenue source for affordable housing. The dedication is as good as the next county budget, and Fairfax pretty much has gone way back on that, and I think Montgomery County has driven it back a lot too. And we're fortunate that we've had the leadership on the county board over all these years to continue to ante up. The amount of dollars that we have put in, I think probably on a per capita basis, it must be 2 or 3 times what the numbers are for the other jurisdictions. If we could ever get the numbers for the other jurisdictions, we would do better. Just at the end, I still think, as we all know, we have to continue to press the envelope. We have to strive to do better. And we also, one request I would have is we continue to respect and honor the housing staff efforts. When I talk about how many hours or days or whatever I've worked, you look across the staff and you multiply that by only 23. When I became housing director, we had a 23-person staff. Today, we have a 23-person staff. And when you look at the efforts that these people put in, day after day, week after week, year after year, it's something to behold when you see it up close and personal on a day-in, day-out basis. And I really, that's what gave me the comfort to say, okay, it's time for me to take another step and move on, because we have plenty of good people coming up through the ranks, and I really appreciate them and the effort that they put forward, and the details of deals you will never see. It's mind-boggling, but stop in and see them sometimes. Ask what they're working on. They're fun people to hang out with. Thanks very much.